Good afternoon. It's day 83. Got 1 week of this left. I started my day in one of my favorite ways. I got to have breakfast with my mom and my 3 sisters, and anytime we do that, we get to laugh, share stories that some of which we've heard any number of times, but it's just a great time to hang out with people you love. And when I got back, I immediately went into work mode, and I've gotten some things accomplished today, but I've also found myself a little frustrated because I've had some technology issues, and it seems that that has happened every single day this week. Fortunately, I have a very defined to-do list, so I'm getting things done, but I just don't like being derailed like that. And one of my challenges this week, and has continued into today, is that it is the planning week for my next 12-week year. And in this particular go around, this will be my 6th time going through this, although the first time probably doesn't count since I didn't do it with an accountability group. It's been pretty easy for me to identify numerous goals that I needed to be working toward. And this time I've actually had some difficulty defining some of the things that I want to accomplish in the next 12 weeks, partially because I've stepped into a new role, coaching with a new company, so I'm having to go through a training period with them. And literally the training goes on for the period of a year. So from the time you start, at least the first month is completely training. You're not really participating in coaching anybody. And then there are various levels that go from there. And then I'm also fulfilling the role of a fractional COO for a company whose product is not very different from a company that I've served in that role for before. But when I did it before, I came through as a student. So I knew what the student experience was. And this time it's been very different because I was just brought in to help with setting up processes and trying to get some things streamlined. That because they've been in startup mode for 3 years, they realized they needed more help than just an admin. So as I've gone through my day-to-day, it's like there's this pressing deadline to figure out what else do I do for the next 12 weeks. And I guess I'm sort of using this video to kind of talk myself through it and realizing that maybe just working in those 2 things for the next 12 weeks is what will be the most productive. Because I sort of have the big rocks that Stephen Covey refers to covered, things like exercise and how I'm eating and doing my daily devotional and just those things that are so important that can so easily get missed when we live in time debt. And so I have those things dialed in, and so maybe I just have to resolve to, okay, I'm just gonna focus on these 2 things. Whereas in the 12-week year, I've typically focused on at least 3 areas, a couple times even done 4 areas. So I guess the purpose of this post today, as I said, is partially to help me talk through things, but it's also to encourage you if you're having trouble identifying goals. And I know a lot of people they only do this at the year end or the very first part of the year, because somehow it's like reading your Bible through in a year. If you don't start on January 1st, it doesn't count. Well, if you work with something like a 12-week year, you get to start over every 3 months. And I love that idea that I'm not waiting 12 months to start over, especially if I missed it somewhere. And the last 12 weeks for me has been very much a transition period. I've not felt like I've gotten a lot done, but at the same time, I'm looking at it and going, okay, but what if that had been a 12-month period instead of 12 weeks? So I've cut that transition time down to 25% of what it could have been if I had not been very purposefully striving towards a goal. So I'm gonna take some time as soon as I finish this video. I've got a couple of hours kind of still left in my work day, and I'm gonna take that time and just have some quiet time and see if I can get inspired with something. I was gonna sit outside at the pool, and we had a storm that decided to roll in about an hour ago, so I'm not sure if the clouds are gonna clear to be able to do that. Otherwise, I'll just find a quiet place to sit, maybe close to where I am right now, and just see what comes to me. So it is day 83. I'm signing off, and I'll see you tomorrow.